We truly appreciate your efforts getting here tonight. We know there's a million and one things you all could do, and we appreciate you coming here for Andy.
Yeah, we should be
I wanted to introduce Marion Frank, and she will be introducing Andy. Marion?
Hi everybody, good evening, and thank you so much for coming. My name is Marion Frank, and I'm on the REC, and I'm also the coordinator for the Palm Beach County Tea Party in Wellington. So in case I think that I look familiar, that's probably where you saw me. But I was honored to be asked by Andy to introduce him to you this evening, as I'm sure all of you here know him very well. But I think that our job going forward is to tell everybody that you know who lives in this district that they need to vote for the most qualified person ever to run for a county commission seat. Andy has been doing his homework for the past 6 years. As you know, he ran 4 years ago? He ran in 2010, and he ran as an independent, and you know, maybe you could say he wasn't ready yet, but he's done his homework the last 4 years, and he is far more qualified than anybody else for this position. When you can hear him talk about all of the issues that the county commission has to make decisions about, because he's the only candidate that actually has gone to every single county commission meeting for the past 6 years. Nobody else that's running, none of the other 3 people can even come close to that. Yesterday I attended a forum at the Wellington Chamber of Commerce. Some of you might have been there, where each one of the candidates got 8 minutes to get up and speak about themselves. And it was the first time that I got to meet two of the candidates, Melissa McKinley, who's running in the Democrat primary against Kathy Foster, and Michelle Santamaria, who is, as you know, is the daughter of Jess Santamaria, who's been the county commission in this district for the past 8 years. And there's a lot of push to get Michelle elected. Michelle is a really nice young girl. She's got an MBA and a law degree, but she knows nothing about what's going on in the county. When she got up to speak, it was hysterical. Everybody was going to get up and walk out. She said, she moved the podium away and she said, "I'd like to get to know all of you." Well, you know, we were all a little surprised because we kind of wanted to get to know what her qualifications were, and it turns out that she has none. She was asked the week before in a forum what was her opinion about Agenda 21, and she said, "You know, I don't know anything about it, but I'm willing to learn." Well, this is not a job for somebody that doesn't know what they're talking about. This is a job that I believe, and I'm sure most of you here believe, that really only Andy Schaller is qualified to do. So we've got to really work hard, and one of the things that we have to do, in case you guys haven't seen this envelope, put some money in this envelope, leave it for Andy. This is going to be a very, very expensive race. I guarantee Jess is going to put $500,000 into trying to get his daughter elected in the seat so he could have another 4 years of telling her what to do. The other thing is that Andy has the respect of the other commissioners that are that are still on the commission. So they are sick and tired of the Santamaria name, and I believe that they would want somebody like Andy to be there. So I would hope that all of you this evening can put a check in for Andy, and please tell everybody that you know, your neighbors, your friends, everybody that lives in this district, to please vote for Andy in November. And with that,
thank you. It's always easier to do it for somebody else than it is to ask for somebody to do something for you. But I'm not asking you to do anything for me. What I'm asking you to do is something for yourselves. This position of county commissioner has 2 responsibilities. The first is fiscal policy. They're going to collect your money through taxes, and they're going to spend your money for whatever they deem to be the best interest of the county. The second part of it is to make governing policy. They're going to decide different things like land use, whether or not we turn agricultural land into commercial land or residential land, and how it affects you and your existing lifestyles now. In order to be the best serving public servant, you have to have a background where you're well versed in all that. Fortunately, I've been involved in all that since 1990 with stopping Lyons Road through a neighborhood just east of 441, transferred development rights where they were trying to get 100 homes put onto an area that was only approved for 72. I've been through the village of Wellington here. When I got here, I wanted to put a wall around my property because I own a horse barn, and they said you couldn't have walls in the 50-foot setback. That was contrary to my deed restrictions, as it was called. So I went through in the late 90s, 2000, found out that fountains were exempt from the setback rule, and I put 210 feet of fountains across the front yard. It looks like a wall. No horses ever left. I'm happy. The point is, it's not enough to be book smart. You have to have experience. And the experience you get from being down in the county for 6 years is you learn little things like you have to put a notice for a public hearing. Well, how far in advance do you notice? How many public hearings do you have? What is the process that goes on to get something done? Also, we're talking about $4 billion is the county budget. It's $4 billion. So when you ask somebody to represent you, understand you're asking them to be one of 7 people who get to decide where your $4 billion is spent. All 7 county commissioners vote on all county issues. And if you can count to 4, that's the old proverb, count to 4, and you will be able to tell whether something is passed or denied. So you also have to have enough knowledge of the others when it comes time, the other commissioners as well as the other issues, because when it comes time to decide where this $4 billion is going to go, you have to have an idea of what else is more important. Once you take out all the fixed expenses, $4 billion sounds like a lot of money. There's only about $930 million left for discretionary funds. The sheriff's budget is somewhere around $470 million. So you can see we're down somewhere about 10%. That is the allocation for every one of us here, whether it's roads, whether it's beaches, anything else. So you really have to have an understanding of how something works. And you have to ask yourself, I have personal relationships with some of the other candidates, professional, whatever, but you have to ask yourself, if you were going to interview somebody for your best interest, financial interest, your best civic interest, who is most like you and who has the most understanding? You wouldn't necessarily go to your friend, you'd go to the best person, the best heart surgeon, the best doctor. You need the best person. So I ask everybody to look into our personal lives and see how well we as candidates have handled our own money, because they're getting ready to handle your money for 4 years and you can't fire them. Without speaking ill of anyone, I'm going to say we have a wonderful opportunity this time because it's a 3-way race. We have Republicans, we have Democrats, and we have an independent. A Republican, a Democrat, and an independent. The independent, because of her father's stature in the community, as well as the fact that he is a Democrat, will pull a lot of the Democratic vote over, in my opinion. Now we're heads up. The more she takes, meaning the independent, the better our chances look. I have a huge uphill battle against me. I'm not saying anything is easy. It's a popularity contest, unfortunately, because the most votes gets the most win. But also understand, as one of my former competitors in 2010 says, you will get the government that you deserve by who you elect. I ask for everyone's support. I'm doing this for all the right reasons, because I never want anybody in this county to be treated by the county the way that I have been for the last 6 years. You elect somebody to carry your water, to do your best interest, and to make sure that whatever is really the real interest of the community that elects them can be carried forward, promoted, and then followed through with by getting the support of the other commissioners. Long story short, if I didn't believe I was the best candidate to get that job for all of us, because I live here too, I would not ask for anybody's support. I need your support. I believe I'm that person, and there's nobody in this race that has the drive and determination that I do, and it's for all the right reasons. I want this to be a better place than when I got here many years ago. It's been great to me, and if I can give anything back to this community, I'm a happy guy. Thank you for being here. I'm the only candidate that's a Republican that goes right into the November 4th election. I don't have a primary on August 26th, so when you see other candidates' names out there, don't worry. It's because they have to come and fight with me.
And I get the privilege of being propaganda girl. These are for businesses. Please, if you know any businesses, take one, have them put that in their window or at their counters. The more people we get to see the name and the face, the better. So think about places where you might want to put one. Bumper stickers. You have to see the name to remember the name. So driving around Wellington, Royal Palm, the acreage, and throughout the district, these are very beneficial. Please take several, they're small. And last but certainly not least, the envelopes. Please, take 2, they're small. Fill your purse with them, take them out with you. You can go big, you can go small, anything helps. Remember, a roll of stamps is what, $43 now? It helps. So anything you could do, like I said, take one for your friend and pass that word along. Get on your Facebook pages, social media, and let's start talking about Andy Schaller, okay? And point him toward the page, Andy's website. Thank you all very much for being here.
At our doorstep. One, we have the equestrian industry. The second, we have the glades. If anybody doesn't know, we have a unique area in the glades that's called muck, or the farmland is called muck. It comes from when the land was underwater. The only other place is up off of Lake Michigan, where it was underwater at one time. There's nitrogen-rich soil. If you ever go to the glades, any of the farmers there are very proud of the fact that they went to the University of Florida, one of the biggest agricultural schools in the country. It produces a lot of people come back to the glades. Same thing at the University of Florida, Gainesville is one of the area's best horse facilities to do anything as far as surgeries for the horse, repairs for the horse. My idea would be, we've got a ton of money here in sugar and other things in the glades. We have a ton of money here in the horse industry for fun. Why don't we get a satellite campus of University of Florida down here? We're not putting horses on trailers, bringing them up to Gainesville, putting stress on the animals, have it down here, have more people open any other equine-related community medical facilities or anything like that, as well as let's go on with the younger kids who don't have a chance to get further into the agricultural environment. We've got a unique piece of land that exists in only one of 2 places in the country. That's a good start.
That's a good start.
One second, I want everybody, if you don't know Juan Gando, you haven't lived in Wellington. Juan said from day one, I'll support you on anything, and I appreciate that because I've come to know him through this fine restaurant. He also owns Ollie's over by the mall. He owns the Seahorse. He runs the White Horse over at the showgrounds. He runs Welly Deli down on Clematis. He owns Ollie's down there. This is the American dream. Not born here, came here, has done everything that he possibly can. Very good man. Very proud to be his friend. Yeah, don't leave. He's got a wonderful menu. And it's open all night. If you're ever out and about during the equestrian time, this place is packed. You can't have a table, you can't move around. This is the place to be on Sunday nights. And his menu stays open, his full menu, until he closes 2 o'clock, whatever. This is the place. No problems, no issues, everything's professional. #1 promoter. He'll be on the bar before anybody else, handing out whatever napkins, taxi cab rides home, you know, anything a good bartender, restaurant owner would do. Runs a fantastic place. Very, very well respected in the restaurant community here. Very happy to be in this place right now.
Thank you. That's right. Andy, the Minto West community is big news. I'm not so sure here in Wellington, but certainly in Royal Palm and Waxahachie. Last week, David Swift made a suggestion to the Minto folks, is that you give the county the money to put 60th through their whole community, all the way to State Road 7. And he'll then support the Minto development. Minto development is going to be here whether we like it or not. It's a matter of whether it's going to be 5,000 homes and 2.1 million square feet of industrial commercial, or 2,996 and the size of a public shopping center. what's your stance on the 60th through the acreage?
I understand the idea to move through the community. I get that. I understand putting State Road 7 through. I understand Roebuck Road going through. I understand all that. The issue comes down to looking at the neighborhood, meaning all of the area of Highland Dunes and whatever that's going to turn into now. 2,000 homes over in front of Army Aggregates. It was just sold for $77 million. Who knows what they'll be coming back to for that. You look at Minto Homes. Again, it started out as 140 homes that turned into 2996, that turned into 6500, that's back to 4529. We have another property to consider, Avenir, with however many properties they're scaling down to. We have GL Homes. You have to look at it as the totality of everything. The only problem with putting more traffic through with more lanes through is now you can increase the density and intensity of homes in that area. I like the idea of, let's go with what was on the original road plan to go through State Road 7, as long as the residents still support it, because there's a number of residents who come to me and said, I was 100% for State Road 7, but now because it'll allow to the increased intensity and density, maybe we're going to rethink that. So I think what we need to really do is find out what we're going to give for property densities in the entirety, and then we can determine the road needs. You don't determine the road needs and say, okay, we've got this much capacity, so now let's blow up this many properties. I think we do it the other way. We look at everything, we find out what's going to be submitted, and from there we start considering, is Okeechobee going to continue? Is 60th going to go through? We're going to put Roebuck Road through. I believe that you have to look at it in the whole solution, the overall picture, and not piecemeal. That's what's got us into this problem already.
Andy, are you familiar with ICLEI? That's the International Council for Local Environmental Initiatives. It's really a foreign entity under UN Agenda 21.
Familiar with that?
Okay, and they can rethink their way into our communities. I was wondering if you were familiar with it and whether it has tried to penetrate your county, your area, and what you plan to do about it.
We haven't had that specifically, but if you don't know, Agenda 21 is an idea by the UN to keep everything more concentrated into an urban level. It's called stack 'em and pack 'em. You don't have to have a large carbon footprint, which means you don't have your own car. It's walk to anything. It's put something high instead of something wide. That's the Agenda 21. As it is. It's population control, it's world control, it's one world government style control, where what's good for everybody in every country all across the board. You lose your language, borders, and your culture. It's all, no matter where you go in the world, it would all be the same thing. There is a version of that that was coming to Florida called the 750. It was supposed to be 7 different counties that would achieve this Agenda 21 style planning that would then mature by the year 2050. It's now not done so well. It went from 750, 650, 550. I think it's 3.550 now, something along that line.
Well, 150.
How about none? Based upon that, I am absolutely against anything that removes the American way, the American dream, the American culture, the American concept, because this is still America. And anything that decides to classify us as anything else but the unique country that made us what we are, I'm 110% against it. Yes, sir.
It looks like the sheriff's budget is going to be about $540 million now because the commissioners are as intimidated as so many citizens are by the slug. What will you do as a commissioner there? Will you stand up if it's even just you by yourself and say, wait a minute, we need an accounting, we need to look at the budget line by line, or what is your position regarding an outrageous tax?
The sheriff is a constitutionally elected officer. He gets to set his own budget, but he has to present that budget to the county commission. And the county commissioners then, again, count to 4 of 7, or whatever is the majority on that day, but 4 out of 7, need to then approve it. If they don't approve it, the process is you send the sheriff's budget to Tallahassee. Tallahassee, the governor appoints the oversight committee to be able to look at it and then determine whether it's a fair budget or not. In 2010, I came out when the budget was $400 million or something along that line. I came out and made the statement that you got nothing to hide. Why not let the governor take a look at it? We don't have a problem with that. Let him look at it. You've got a second set of eyes, and based upon that, everybody will get off your back because it's justified. That didn't go over so well. I was invited downtown to go to gun club, go see the Gale, go see all the equipment that he has.
Spent a weekend there?
One afternoon. It's your money. You look at the county budget. You'll have 2 meetings that night for the county budget. And the budget that they produce is about this big. But the real budget is about this big when you take all the numbers of everything that's done. If you're paying that money to have that sheriff there, and it's a constitutionally elected office, I'm sorry, open it up. You need to show everybody what we're buying. Which one of us would sign something, and that's what we're doing, without any idea what's in it?
We do it all the time.
We got to stop, not here. Yes, I'll absolutely stand on that for as long as I have a voice in the county. Anything else?
Traffic light cameras.
Okay. Well, that's a very good point.
We don't like them.
I agree.
We don't like them.
I don't like traffic light cameras. In Palm Beach County, the traffic light cameras that are up right now give $0 revenue to the county. Nothing. The $168 ticket that you get goes completely to a company in Arizona called American Traffic Solutions. They give, I think it's $13 or $16 to the Miami Children's Hospital, I believe that it still is, in the name of Palm Beach County. All that money goes to a private entity. There is a movement in Tallahassee to limit the number of traffic cameras because there's been some challenges to the constitutionality of it around the Orlando area. There was a push to see, let's how many cameras we can get in, because once we get the cameras in, then that's it, we're maxed out. There's the moratorium. The traffic company has taken it upon themselves to make campaign donations to a District 6 commissioner candidate that's not myself, and I would never take that.
Good for you.
I'm not into it. Nope. That's it. Thank you very, very much for coming.